Now, face the mighty bison.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're going to talk about some more things that's happening with this update. You guys know the update isn't that big. Obviously we want more out of the developers, and pro players, content creators are speaking up. One thing I will go back to, one thing I remember is that, you have people like Arsenal and Ash, Joe Crush. Many pro players have openly said, whether it be on the stage of Evo or it be on Twitter, that they do not want the developers to delay balancing of the game for tournaments. Tournament pros are requesting for immediate balance, and the developers have still not acted on that. So you can see how players are frustrated and they want more. I do want to go back and I want to do a little follow-up to this tweet here that Harada made. I talked about this where he's basically changing the way that the female characters proportions are, but in the responses of this, a lot of people are making other requests. Like, for example, you have Dell here who says, will you please consider fixing the subsurface profile for female characters? Currently it's too bright and those lose all detail, and their skin looks like they have a lower game resolution. It would be very quick to fix. And there's other like type of requests in there as well. You can see this one from this player. You can see that the players basically like what the developers do, but they do want more. Nakatsu also added to this statement from Harada where he says, we have made data adjustments and fixed related issues concerning swimsuits costumes released in version 2.4. Now here's the thing, when you talk about this patch, right, you can see here on Twitter, I talked about it in a video. If we skip down to this portion right here, you can see there is a response from Bogard. This is a big content creator, does great work, and he's speaking up about the current state of the game. Now, let me stop here before we even read it, and I'll say this. The developers have apologized and admitted that, Season 2 wasn't what the players wanted. And they told us that they want to fix the game pretty rapidly, right? A lot of people are still waiting for that rapid response. Also, for the people who think that these kind of conversations are toxic, I will also like to say that keep in mind the developers Rada and Michael Murray at the start of season 2, they tweeted that they wanted the criticism and that they're listening to players, but even though they apologized and stuff like that, people feel like we're not seeing the action. They did a lot of talking in IGN interviews, but we have yet to see the real apology in game through balancing. A lot of the season 2 moves are still operating exactly like they did day 1 of season 2. We're about 150 something days into the season. So what's going on there? Bogard says, you told us you were working with full commitment to resolve various issues with season 2 and that you would regain our trust. It's been 5 months and the game is still in the state that the majority of the community is unhappy with. We need more major balance changes, not more behavioral patches and less effort battle passes. Also, something you could talk about is how the developers are still, once again, not balancing the game, but they are monetizing it. And you can also talk about how the monetization is just still recycled material from Tekken 7. Of course, we like these iconic outfits and, it's really cool when these things show up. But for this to be all of the support that we're getting, Devil Jin costume that was free base roster of Tekken 7. I mean, it's just sad. If they're gonna charge, it should be a totally new design, not a recycled one. That's how I feel. But also, when you're not balancing the game, you're not regaining trust, and you're still doing what you did in season 1, it's just gonna leave a nasty taste in people's mouth. And you can also see the tweet here that Bogard is referencing. This comes from Nakatsu. To all the fans around the world, thank you as always for your continued support. I would like to offer a heartfelt apology as game director for the fact that the recently released season 2 did not meet your expectations and caused inconveniences due to the critical issues. We take your feedback and your comments very seriously, and the entire team is working together with full commitment to resolve these problems and deliver a better balanced game experience. We will continue to make steady, meaningful improvements one by one and do our utmost to regain your trust. Now, I do give the developers credit. Fakamram is a big improvement in comparison to Anna. The updates that they've been doing are all moving in the right direction, but I mean, like bro said, 5 months, 150 something days later, and we're still dealing with a lot of the nonsense. We are not complaining because we want to complain. We're complaining because we want to play the game. And the developers are basically saying, no, you guys don't play the game. Go play something else. It's weird that they would not want to take immediate action. The player base want it, the pros are asking for it. The only reason I can come up with as to why they're not doing it is because it probably takes a lot of time to implement these updates, and they're probably trying to test it to make sure they don't break anything. But I mean, how long can that excuse last for when you're 5 months down the road, right? You could at least do something to show the players that you're serious, and that's what I think people want. You have a tweet here from Mike Hollow where he tags in on this, and he says, Bogard on the money again. These updates are not substantial enough. At this point, if you enjoy Tekken 8, then you are happy and content, but the rest of us don't like its direction. I highly recommend playing other games. I do and do not miss playing ranked at all. I treat Tekken 8 like a party game now, which is why I only stream the community when I'm playing it. This is not a serious fighting game, and the updates are not good enough. And this kind of speaks to what Arslan talks about, right? When Arslan plays, I believe it's King of Fighters, he talks about how fun it is to play defense. I don't know why the developers viewed defense as the enemy. It's a very bad mindset because fighting games, to fight is to do two things: to defend or to attack, and to remove one element is ridiculous. We know that they're doing this because they want to decrease the skill gap, but are you going to decrease the skill gap so hard to where your players who make up the majority of the game are hating the experience, and then now you're trying to cater to a slow income of new players? It just doesn't make sense, right? Like, we could see the sales on this game. It hasn't sold 4 million copies yet, right? At the way that they're going, I think Armor King probably will make them sell 4 million copies. But if Armor King comes out and in that following month, if they don't hit 4 million copies, it will speak volumes to how much trouble they're in. But also, when you say that, they're not acting that way. I really don't understand why the developers have done all of the necessary things like apologizing, removing the balancing team, and still we haven't seen anything substantial. But also, too, something else that I think about is, like, realistically, how can they fix this game? Season 2 kind of left a permanent stain on it. Some of these new moves just fundamentally break characters, in my opinion. And you can even say that for the way that Tekken 8 is designed. I think Yoshimitsu does a lot of things he's not supposed to do. 3-1 and forward 1 plus 2 should not exist in this toolkit. And even the new move, right? Up forward 1, and especially the one from King Chai that goes into the mix up on block. Those moves should not exist, but they're there. And we never seen Tekken remove moves from the game, but I think now for the first time, we should most certainly do that. It's ridiculous that's the case. That why do I not follow Mike? I don't know how I unfollowed Mike. I follow him now. Yeah, it's ridiculous though. It's like the developers should be more proactive and stay true to their words. Quite honestly, a part of me is feeling like they're just waiting out the storm. Let's pretend to apologize. Let's pretend to fix the game. And then over time, people will get used to dealing with this way, this game, what we want. I hope that's not the route that they're going, and I hope that this is just my mind, being delusional. But with how long these problems are persisting, you can only start to come up with delusional takes about what is happening. I know they're probably waiting until Armor King, but in my opinion, they should have did the update now. But if Armor King releases and this game is not put back on track, bro, it's going to be ridiculous because the players want to play, and the game is unplayable by their own admission, but also by their own design. And please fix it.